Welcome back, everybody, to the Bad Moons Orbit. I am, as always, your Harlequin Troop Master, Darian Smart.
And I'm State Alchemist Dalton Montgomery.
Ooh. Well, I mean, I guess not always. This is crazy. I immediately threw off the groove. I'm sorry. Should we just rewatch Full Metal Alchemist, right now?
Of course.
Let's just stop doing this and watch Full Metal Alchemist. What have we been doing? Okay, what we're celebrating the fact that 40,000 times someone said, yeah, I'll give this podcast a listen.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm floored and grateful.
Yes.
And also, will curse you to my dying breath for making me do the thing I said I would do. Because this is not an episode of the Bad Moons Orbit. This is an episode of Craft World, the 40K podcast.
Incredible. Excellent.
So, before we get into all of that, and to give me just another moment of reprieve to mentally prepare myself, Dalton, do you have any fun game things to talk about?
Oh, I didn't think about that at all. Whoops. I have been playing Pokemon Champions.
Ooh.
That's been great. That's the competitive battling dedicated Pokemon game. No story, just online competitive battles. It's the thing the series needed for probably 3 generations now.
Damn, yeah.
Yeah. And it's been fun. I like I've seen some people complain about there's a very limited pool of Pokemon you can use. There's a very limited pool of items available.
It's set in Nevada.
Yes, set in Nevada, which rips. But I think that's great. I think it's creating such a unique meta. I've been playing competitive Pokemon for a long time, and you can only look at so many Landorus before you just don't want to play it anymore. And so I'm very happy to have a weird, unique meta where stuff I don't know, Scovillain has viability. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, that's been fun.
I like that silly little bell pepper Hydra
Right.
monster. I think he's kind of great.
He
great. Looks stupid, but I love him.
Yeah.
I bought some Lorcana cards yesterday because I got off work and I was just jonesing to open some booster packs.
Yeah.
So I opened some booster packs and I was showing the Dalton, and Dalton's like, I think I'm just going to look up how to play this game. So then Dalton looked up how to play Lorcana and then was able to teach me things about the cards I own.
Yeah.
Still, I don't want to play this game, but I appreciate the cards I have on another level now, so I can read them better.
Yeah.
I'm not just looking at the art. I can also appreciate, this number is cool, and this is neat. And then this morning when I was reorganizing my cards, because relaxation, I realized I have a very, very powerful Mickey Mouse card who's got 10s on all of his stats and has a really good effect. And I'm like, there's no way in hell you need 10 ink to play that. There's no way in hell you'd ever be able to play this card. Unless you had the Hades card.
Yeah.
It has a trade-off ability. A card I do, in fact, own.
Ooh.
So,
You're partway to a competitive Lorcana.
I really probably got so many. Listen, if anybody wanted to use mine to play, I'd say, no thank you. I'm worried about you bending them.
Correct.
But I do have a lot of duplicate background art cards, so if anybody wants any of those, I'd be happy to mail them to you, because I feel bad about throwing them away. Trading cards are fun.
Yeah, games are great.
Games are great.
Big fan.
And you know what is actually maybe kind of great also? I think Warhammer 40K might be kind of great also. So I said flippantly once upon a time that if we ever got to 40,000 downloads, I would do the research for this episode.
Yeah.
That was very silly. I was literally starting at level 0. And Dalton actually had a foundational knowledge, so would have had a much smoother time and probably would not have had to do the thing I had to do when I was just trying to figure out how to start, which is literally Google, what is Warhammer 40K? And I know what Warhammer 40K is, but I'm I need a foothold, right? So anyway, that brings me to the subreddit. The Warhammer subreddits, which gave me 2 answers. From our subreddit description, Warhammer 40K is a franchise created by Games Workshop, detailing the far future and the grim darkness it holds. The main attraction of 40K is the miniatures, but there are also many video games, board games, books, etc. that are all connected in the 40K universe. That obviously was not very helpful to what I was doing here today, but I felt like it was important to include for entertainment purposes.
Yes.
So then I decided, okay, the first thing I want to do Let's talk about the real-world history of Warhammer 40,000.
Hell yeah.
So, the year is 1983.
Unthinkable.
Unthinkable. Never happened. The far-flung past.
Yeah.
Seeking to create a game that would require players to purchase a lot of miniatures, Gameshammer Workshop released... What?
Gameshammer.
Gameshammer!
Gameshammer Workshop.
And what's really annoying is that it's games and then it does a line break down to workshop, so there's really no reason my brain should be doing that. I've been researching for 6 hours.
Yep.
Games Workshop released Warhammer. Jesus fucking Christ. Games Workshop releases Warhammer Fantasy to the public.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a huge success.
Yeah.
Technically, it's Warhammer Fantasy Battle. It's a tabletop war game, but you're going to play in fantasy world. Just kind of taking a page from Dungeons & Dragons and Lord of the Rings, that kind of thing. I'm not telling us anything we don't know, but stay with me here.
Yeah.
But woven through the setting are elements of science fiction, actually. Like, while many folks worked on this project, it wouldn't be a stretch to suggest that those sci-fi vibes were brought to the table by one Rick Presley. Presley had been developing a spaceship combat tabletop game well before he came to Games Workshop. It was dubbed Rogue Trader, and the concept blended elements of fantasy and science fiction. So he really brought that vibe to the table while working on Warhammer Fantasy.
Yeah.
So, Games Workshop began development on what they intended to be kits for Warhammer Fantasy, so players could, like, add sci-fi laser guns to their minis and things like that. But then they thought, why not make even more money? And they developed a whole new line of minis and a whole new game. And so, in October 1987, Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader entered the world.
Hell yeah.
For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods and the master of a million worlds brought by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with the power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, to whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day, and for whom blood is drunk and flesh eaten. Human blood and human flesh. Stuff of which the Imperium is made. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. This is the tale of these times. In a universe you can live in today if you dare. For this is a dark and terrible era where you will find little comfort of hope. If you want to take part in the adventure, then prepare yourself. Forget the power of technology, science, and common humanity. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for there is no peace amongst the stars, only eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. But the universe is a big place, and whatever happens, you will not be missed.
Ooh.
That is the original first couple paragraphs written by Presley for this game. Talk about a vibe setting.
Yep.
Now, you may notice that from that original intro, a distinct phrase is missing from it. That's because it would be 6 years before the iconic tagline, "In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war," would appear on the second edition starter box, which was published in 1993, the year Dalton was born.
Yeah.
Not to age dox you on our show. I just thought it was,
Oh no, I'm 32.
Oh,
yeah.
no! Oh no, me too! Our birthdays are at the opposite ends of the year.
I'm the same age that the lead singer of Green Day was when they wrote American Idiot. Anyways.
Oh no, don't think about that. Don't have that thought. No. While the original Warhammer Fantasy would meet an apocalyptic end in 2015, and Warhammer Age of Sigmar will come about later that same year, Warhammer 40,000 has continued to be a juggernaut in tabletop, war games, and miniature spaces. 11th edition drops June of this year, which is just shy of the game's 40th birthday.
Yeah.
So, and with that background setting lightly out of the way, now we're going to get into the reason we're all here, some lore stuff.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I'm going to read a great line I found while doing just general research for this episode that I think is going to save us all just like a lot of time in the long run.
Yes.
Much of the information presented in various canon sources is often ambiguous and at times even contradictory. So, all that to say, I'm going to do my best, gang. I am probably going to get things wrong. There's a good chance I'm going to present information that is very outdated, or I'm going to get things completely wrong because I was missing some important context and then thus drew some wild conclusion based on the information I did have because I didn't click 3 more links over and find a different page that would have explained another thing I needed to know to understand this other thing I was reading. Additionally, please keep in mind that we're trying to cram 40 years worth of stuff into this episode. We've been doing the Bad Moon's Orbit for going on 3 years now, and we haven't even covered half of all the things we could talk about.
Yes.
Right? Dalton thought we were going to do the old world in one episode. No. But here we are doing Warhammer 40K in one episode. It's a very silly thing we're doing.
Yes.
So I want to fully invite our listeners to share in the comments any things I got just totally wrong.
Yeah.
Or anything that I touched on but could use some expanding. Or things you know and really like about Warhammer 40K. I think it'd be kind of cool if this could be a fairly decent crash course source for people who are looking to learn more about the 40K lore without accidentally falling into the cesspool of the internet. But more on that later. But please do not email or DM us your corrections.
Right.
That will not be helpful.
No.
Only Dalton will see them, and we will not be doing a corrections episode later, as this is not a 40K podcast.
Correct.
So, disclaimers out of the way. Let's get started. I had a challenging time with this episode. Obviously, for the part of I was going from literally zero.
Right.
I Googled the phrase, what is Warhammer 40K, just to try to find a foothold to climb up on. Right? It's like you're on a wall just looking for something to grab and pull. But also because when I do research for specifically muses of mythology, and we're talking about some sort of myth or god or something, I try to find a thread just to kind of hold on to.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to get lost in a vastness of a topic.
Yes.
And so I tried to research this episode several times and got bits and pieces and a ton of tabs open on my computer, but really couldn't find a thing for me to mentally be able to navigate through until I came to this thought, which is I believe that Warhammer 40,000 is presenting a world in which existence is destruction.
Right.
And I'll expand on that later, or I will forget to talk more about that thought. But that's the thought that I was following
it's a good thought.
through this episode. So, because the thing that really helped me, I think that's the thing, is when I learned that the first intelligent life in the Warhammer universe came about in the very moments of creation itself.
Right.
Right? Everything exists, and then there were the Star Gods, eventually called the Kurtan, though on other pages I saw that they were called the Kurtan first and then the Star Gods later, and then some said those two things meant the same thing in the language, and so I don't know. But they were Star Gods and they're the Kurtan, and they were just existing there in the beginning.
I've also definitely heard Satan.
Okay.
Which I don't know if that's accurate.
My instinct was Satan, but the Wikipedia page says pronounced Kurtan.
Oh.
So that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
The Warhammer Wiki fandom page. So take it up with them. Hey, that'd be a good thing to leave in the comments. Let us know.
Listen, I keep saying Hammer Hall, so we're fine.
I keep saying tote on my mythology podcast for thought. So I get it. All right, so I could not find a better way to describe what these entities were beyond the way they were just described on the wiki. So, quote, these were energy parasites that sucked upon the solar energies of the stars that had brought them into existence, shortening the lives of otherwise main sequence stars by millions of standard years. The idea that as soon as some sort of intelligent life exists, it immediately destroys everything around it.
Yeah.
So, now the first physically, as in a flesh body, intelligent life forms, was a reptilian race that is now just called the Old Ones. Yeah. And I was like, hey, I know them. And later I was like, no, I don't. It's my good buddy's evil twin.
Yep.
It's a lot of what I felt like being in Warhammer 40K was just running into the evil soap opera twin of someone I thought I knew well. The orcs felt like, I was like, that's basically the same guys.
Yeah.
Different setting, same guys. But everyone else, I was like, oh, that's not my buddy. I gotta go. Now, these were a technologically advanced and psychically skilled civilization that was the first to travel among the stars. They're able to do this thanks to learning how to utilize the warp. And the warp was a thing that I just physically resisted learning about for way too long in this research process. I just kept seeing this term and being like, I don't think that's important. And boy, I was embarrassingly wrong. I'm glad I eventually decided to learn what the warp was, because wow, it's super important and foundational. Because there is no magic in 40K, right? There's just psychic powers.
Yes.
And this all comes from the warp, also called immaterium, which is, quote, an alternate dimension of pure psychic energy that basically spans the entire universe. It's giving a vaguely inside-out vibes.
Yeah.
Also vaguely, to me, I kept thinking like a little bit like magical ley line, demon realm kind of vibes you'd have in a fantasy setting. Like, it's where the not magic comes from, right?
Yeah.
So
People in 40K often just call it hell. What?
that makes sense, because it's where the chaos demons come from.
Yeah.
But not at first.
No, yeah.
Like, which was also a crazy thing I fucking learned. It's like, what? You made the chaos demons? They didn't just exist already? Jesus! The warp also is what allows everything to have faster than life travel. Did you watch Star Trek Discovery? Right, so if you did, I think it's like that. I think it's like the mycelial web. I think it's, you're just in it, and then you're out of it. But if I'm wrong, you know what to do. In their travels, the Old Ones eventually encounter the Necrati, which is a race that's described as humanoid, and also everybody has cancer, basically.
Yeah.
They're all just afflicted with a painful sickness and short lifespans due to the radiation from their planet's own sun, because this is a grim, dark place. But in spite of, or perhaps specifically to spite those very challenges, the Necrati had become an interstellar civilization by the time they made contact with the Old Ones. And it was not an instant friendship. From what I could tell just on the surface, it kind of looks like a lot of the resentment stems from jealousy. The Old Ones were basically immortal by that point. They just kind of just had to figure out how to do that. And the Necrati didn't. And it seems maybe there's some stories that say the Old Ones just adamantly refused to help them. And that didn't help with the feelings of resentment. And at that point in time, the Necrati Empire had already started to fall apart. It spread itself pretty thin. It didn't have a lot of strong resources. Like, that's kind of just what happens. But nothing brings people together like a shared enemy. And so the Silent Kings, the ruler of the Necrati, declared war on the Old Ones. For fucking fun, it kind of feels like, I don't know. Probably because we're going to steal their information technology. I don't know. The real reason was just to reunite their own, like, centralized power.
Right.
And so the universe suffered what would be called in later legends the War in Heaven.
Good name.
Great name, though, right? Great name for an interstellar galactic war. Like, yeah. So eventually the Curtan, I already said it. Eventually the Curtan get involved, and they take the form of the Necrati's own ancient gods to make contact with them. And it was really great timing, because the Necrati were losing the war they started, because of course they were.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, they basically, like, lost all of their territory, and were, like, it seems like trapped on their own planet, just kind of waiting for the siege to be over and the war to end. But the Curtan show up, and they're like, hey, you know what? We also hate the Old Ones because of a story we're going to tell you that may or may not actually even be true. Don't worry about it. But we could help. And the Alliance forever changed the Necrati, granting them immortality and mechanical shells of bodies. It said that the Necrati lost their souls as well as their flesh. But maybe the ends justify the means, because the Necrati would witness both the collapse of the Empire of the Old Ones as well as successfully revolt against the Curtan before entering their own great sleep. Which is fucking crazy.
Right.
It's like, all right, I think we're done here. yeah, we're done here. Let's just go in our sleeping tombs. I'm like, what do you mean it's called a sleeping tomb? What? Okay, whatever. I'm sure that won't come up again. It does. But we'll get to that. So, while the Old Ones ultimately lost this great war, their influence persists into what is like modern day Warhammer. Because we're sitting at 60,000 years before the 41st millennium. Did I say that? I meant to say, yeah, I said we literally started at creation. So like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I set the timeline up. This war in heaven maybe lasted for 5 million years. I couldn't find any like canon or anyone showing a canon source that said absolutely, but it seemed crazy. So, and this influence exists in a couple of ways, because much like the Old Ones that we know very well, they created a bunch of different alien species. Yeah. And whose descendants or themselves actually remain in the galaxy, because the Old Ones were creating them to try to help them win this war, which, okay, sure, that's an approach. So we have the Rashan, of which literally nothing is known. Their Wikipedia page is 2 sentences long, just to say the Old Ones created them and we don't know anything about them. Crazy. There's the Knib, of which basically nothing is known, except that they might have had 10 limbs and maybe they were invading Imperial worlds for a while there. But like, it also kind of sounded like sea monster legend. Like, doesn't seem like it was ever a thing that we can confirm happened for realsies though. Next up, we have the Eldari, who is a big player. We know a ton about them. And they are space elves.
Yeah.
Incredibly psychically powerful. And after the War in Heaven, they would rise to galactic dominance and be like the ruling empire. We also have the Quark, which probably is not Croc. I don't know. I realized I said Quark, and that sounded an awful lot like a Star Trek character, so I wanted to try it again. And these would eventually become our buddies, the Orcs.
Quark.
Krork.
Because it's just orc with a KR on the front.
Oh, yeah. Quark. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, these are just, eventually, they became orcs.
Yeah.
They weren't originally, but they would. And also, it's like a little unclear of whether 100% for sure they were made by the Old Ones. Because it's maybe just being drawn from an orc legend about the big brains. But probably they were also made by the Old Ones.
Yeah.
Fun fact, orcs don't have individual psychic powers. However, they do possess collaborative psychic abilities. Meaning that if enough orcs believe something, then it becomes true. Which is the one thing my brother knows about Warhammer, period. Because he knows that yellow things explode better because orcs think they will. And that's the one thing I knew for sure about Warhammer 40k before I started too, because that's what my brother told me one time.
Red ones go faster.
Yellow ones explode.
Yep.
Next we have the Jokario, who are masterful engineers that bear a striking resemblance to Earth orangutans.
Yeah.
And I was just like, look, it's the librarian.
Yeah.
From Discworld. Because it's not a Badman's Orbit episode if I don't mention Discworld somewhere.
I think that I do not know the timeline on that, but I do know that there was a point where Terry Pratchett was contacted by Games Workshop to write like short fiction for Warhammer 40k.
Shit, what?
So I would not be surprised if that is an intentional homage.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, right?
All right. Next we have the Herd, who are just scary as fuck looking subterranean dwelling beings. Like, I opened up their wiki and was like, oh shit. Like, they're very upsetting. If you've never seen one of these things, God. They have the psychic ability to entropy any living thing that gets too close to them.
Yep.
Fun fact, their bones liquefy when they die. Making them really hard to study.
Yeah, that would do it.
And last, the final race that we know the Old Ones had a hand in creating was humanity.
Oh.
Kinda. Much like with the orc, where they created the Kork, and eventually they get the orcs. The Old Ones created the primate-like tree-dwelling creatures that would evolve into Homo sapiens long after the Old Ones had vanished from the scene.
Right.
The Jokero may have actually had a similar history, where these creatures themselves are like not the thing the old ones created, but
that makes sense.
like an initial creation was left to its own devices for eons, and evolution just kind of happens.
That makes sense.
There's definitely a vibe of, oh, humanity actually originated because of interference from reptilian hyper-intelligence things that just gives me like bad feelings.
Yeah.
Because of other things that exist, and not necessarily a thing that is intentional here.
No, for sure.
But definitely I'm just like, I don't like that, but I don't think it's Games Workshop's fault.
No, yeah.
So now, because the Kirtan were weak to psychic attack, what kind of Pokemon would they have been?
Fighting types.
So, well, yes.
I feel like steel types is the obvious answer, but those aren't weak to psychic.
Damn. I know, right? But they were even though they were pure energy beings, so they're really weak to psychic attack.
Mm-hmm.
The old ones aim to create like their warrior like battle races to be high levels in psychic combat, because that'd be super useful.
Yeah.
So like they linked them directly to the warp.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing that I'm more than happy to have people correct me on in the comments, because I had to read a couple different things to try to understand what the hell this was trying to tell me in the lore, because it was perplexing. So the races didn't just pull
Poison. Sorry, because they're all poisoned by their own environment,
Hey!
and poison's also weak to psychic. Okay,
Excellent.
go on.
Okay. So they didn't just these races that were created by the old ones, they didn't just pull energy from the warp. They also fed their emotions into it, kind of with that connection, like not on purpose. I don't think it was intentional, but it's just kind of the thing that happened, right? Their emotions and their experiences. And in a time period called the War in Heaven, it wasn't exactly warm, fuzzy feelings that were getting funneled into this like psychic energy layer of reality.
Right.
And this is where capital C chaos comes from. It's eventually, it feels like what happened with the old ones is they sort of polluted this energy source until it kind of became a sort of sentient malevolence.
That's my understanding, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And when enough raw emotion gets concentrated in one place at one time, a chaos god will emerge. And now we have some more familiar folks that we get to introduce. Come on in, the chaos gods. No, don't. That wasn't a real invitation. We have Korn, our good buddy.
Classic.
Famously is not throwing a skull throne, is actually just sitting on it. Obviously, we all know this now. And in 40K, he is the oldest of the four major chaos gods, emerging into existence on Earth.
Oh.
Yeah, Earth. In the early second millennium, during the European Middle Ages.
Oh.
Quote, its birth heralded by the era of wars and conflict that raged across the globe.
Oh.
The next of the chaos gods that entered the scene was Tzeentch, who, again, came into full sentience during the European Dark Ages. Brought about due to the, quote, maturation of human nations and politics with all their implicit intrigues and double dealing. Next, we have Nurgle. And you've probably picked up on a pattern here. Yes, the chaos god of disease hit the scene thanks to the bubonic plague of the European Middle Ages. And this is the most thing that was written by white British dudes in the 80s.
That's what I was thinking. 'Cause what the fuck do you mean there were no big plagues before?
Yeah, what the fuck do you mean that 75% of the chaos gods emerged on Earth in the Middle Ages? Like, in the European Dark Ages. Like, a span of, like, 1,000 years? Which, yeah, 1,000 years is, like, a pretty long time.
Yeah,
but, like,
sure.
when we've been dealing with the War of Heaven and the start of creation?
Yeah.
Plus, it's listen, yeah, when especially if you were a kid and you went to school in the U.S., you learned a lot about the Middle Ages and a lot about the Dark Ages.
Or the UK.
Or the UK also. I can't say that for sure. I didn't go to school there. But,
But the creators did. Sorry,
the creators
that was
did.
my, yeah.
And the important thing to also know is that Europe pretty small part of Earth. And even though things were pretty rough during the Dark Ages in Europe, they were actually pretty damn chill in like Asia and the Middle East. And for like all of the indigenous cultures of what would become the Americas, right? So like
they were making steam engines in the Middle East during the Dark Ages,
right? They were studying the movement of the planets, inventing the number 0. They had the fucking I'm gesturing wildly because I can't remember. I don't know.
Algebra, calculus. No, calculus was noon.
Agriculture and farming.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they had those in the Dark Ages too, but like they were inventing like new techniques for like tiered garden systems in South America. Like, guys, this was not that impactful in the scape of the galaxy.
Universe.
Okay? Like, the rest of the universe didn't have war or political machination or plague. I'm not saying that no chaos god could have appeared.
For sure.
But like 3 out of 4?
Right.
And you might be like, well, human emotion is like really appealing to chaos gods. Like that's a thing in the lore. And I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure. Except number 4, Slaanesh not rolling up because of humanity. Okay? Like, and of course, the one chaos god that didn't roll up on Earth during the Dark Ages was the sexy one. Because there wasn't a lot of frisky pleasure times going on during the Dark Ages. So, yeah. But we'll get to Slaanesh later.
Slaanesh is the only one I knew, like, where they came from. And it's so funny to me that, because all you hear is like, oh, like, Eldari are constantly, like, playing Apologetica for like creating Slaanesh, and that's their great shame and stuff. What the fuck do you mean? Humanity made 3 of them. Like
3 of them, they weren't even in space travel yet. We haven't went to the goddamn moon.
Do you think Khorne is just like vague Middle Ages wartime because they wanted to use the Black Death for Nurgle and they didn't want, so they couldn't use World War I for Khorne, which I feel like would have been such a more obvious.
World War I would have been so much more obvious.
Right?
Like, what do you mean? He showed up during the Middle Ages? We didn't even invent. There wasn't even like trench warfare yet. Are you kidding me?
Like 1,000 dudes in the field stabbing each other with pikes.
And that's enough to get Khorne to show up? Are you fucking kidding me? We literally had the War of Heaven, but Khorne shows up here? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Incredible.
Again, 1, fine, whatever. You're right. It would have made sense if at least they'd showed up at other points in time.
Right.
Like, no. This is silly. This is very silly. Yeah, this is it. But it's like so long ago, is that why like humanity's like, we don't need to atone for that. We don't even remember that. And I was like wondering, I'm like, is this an early canon thing, but not true anymore? But as far as I can tell, that's still the canon lore.
Incredible. But
yeah, so since we're on Earth in the Middle Ages, let's stick around for a while.
Cool.
So it's most frequently referred to as Terra in the 40k lore. And we're going to hang out and follow the path of humanity. So, sometime in the 3rd millennium, where we are right now, hello.
Hooray.
Humanity enters what's called the Stellar Exodus, which is the early examples of human interstellar travel. We kind of were just heading up to the stars and figuring it out, right? Nothing crazy happens for a while, for literally like 12 millennia. Because then we hit the age of technology, which starts from the 15 millennia. And that's when humanity becomes a true intergalactic civilization, because this is where we invent all that sweet sci-fi tech.
Nice.
Like, this is where you have, like, Star Trek style shit, okay? You've got warp drives and, like, the Geller field, which are things that they use to, like, protect starships and allow them to do the faster and light travel, because now humanity has figured out how to use the warp to do their stuff. And they extend, like, far away from our little solar system, and we're colonizing the Milky Way galaxy and beyond. This is where humans start to encounter the other intelligent intergalactic species, like the Eldari and the Orcs. The Eldari, who are, again, are space elves, and they have their own, like, space empire going on. And the Orcs, who like to party, but not in the same way the Eldari like to party, or the same way the humans like to party. And that culture clash is just going to be a thing that exists for the rest.
Yep.
that we're just going to come in and destroy everything because that's how we have fun doesn't translate well in this world ever. So it was also the first historically verified existence of psychers, who are who are individuals with psychic power. And a term I fucking hate. Definitely sounds like a slur. Now, as far as I can tell, the records in the age of technology are few and far between. So all this is kind of considered more like mythology. We don't know for sure. There's a couple things we do this kind of happened and this is probably when it happened, but in canon there's no here's exactly what happened the first time humans met the elves or things like that. It's happened too long ago. And too many things happened since then to preserve those records. But one thing that is pretty certain is the development of the Men of Iron, who were self-aware humanoid robots that allowed for a lot of this interstellar travel. And if you've watched any science fiction movie, you know what comes next. They turned against their creators. The cybernetic revolt broke out in the late 23rd millennium, and the weapons of mass destruction that humans developed to try to win this war tore apart planet and consumed stars. Humanity came out on top, and at the cost of the stability and the unity they once had. It is this experience with the Men of Iron and the massive destruction this war wrought that sometimes the Age of Technology is referred to as the Dark Age of Technology. This is remembered as both a golden age and as a cautionary tale for how bad it can get if human ingenuity is left without check. And after the Age of Technology becomes the Age of Strife. This lasts from the 25 millennium to 30 millennium, and it's also called the Old Night. And it's actually the events of this age that lead to the previous age being the Dark Age, because wow, things got so bad here because of what we did here. It's literally just has changed the way folks thought about that age. Humanity became too enlightened, too technology advanced for its own good. The fall from grace was a long one, and hitting the ground broke Civil war broke out amongst human civilizations. The collapse of societal protections left human colonies vulnerable for attacks from orcs. And it didn't help that at the same time, the Eldari Empire saw their massive decline, hitting its rock bottom by bringing into the universe She Who Thirsts, as they call it, the chaos god Slaanesh. And this basically happened because these very psychic elves partied too hard. And this instance destroyed the homeworlds at the heart of the Eldari Empire, killed basically all of their gods, and wiped out most of the race. The surviving Eldari had to scatter across space to escape from Slaanesh. It was a bad time. A time of war and chaos demons and warp storms and just overall anarchy. No one was having fun except for the orcs who were built for this. They were having a great time. But for humans, not so much. So, at times of unrest and fear are perfect for conquerors and saviors to arise. Usually both in one package. Because back on Earth, a warlord has just taken over basically everything. And now I want to tell you about the Great Crusade and how it was led by a man who's known only as the Emperor, and his pronouns are always capitalized. His 40K wiki page has a section called Original Origin, followed immediately by a section called Current Origin. So that's what we're dealing with here. Obviously, I'm not going to reference anything from Original Origin. It's too much. We're not going to go there. I just wanted everyone to know that we're dealing with a franchise that has 40 years of lore. Retcons happen. I would love to get a retcon of 3 out of 4 Chaos Gods rolling up on Earth, but that might be too much to ask for. So the Emperor is a perpetual, it's fucking still alive. We'll get to that. Call it living. A perpetual who is a human mutant that possesses a ton of super cool superpowers. But the most important one is a basic immortality. Just the name Perpetual. He is also the most powerful human psyker of all time. Because all perpetuals are psychers, but not all psychers all are perpetuals, so both need to be mentioned here in this sentence. He started out as I said, a warlord on Terra, going on to unite all of humanity on the homeworld before setting his sights on uniting humanity everywhere in the universe, under the banner of the Imperium and his enlightened rule, of course.
Right.
The Emperor's master plan to achieve this was the Primarch Project. Primarch?
Yeah.
20 genetically engineered sons of the Emperor himself. These immortal superhuman designer babies were intended to be the generals of the Emperor's army. However, the Chaos Gods learned of this plan and snatched all the unborn Primarchs away and scattered them across the different human worlds that had, at this point, all been lost and disconnected from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be wondering, why do the Chaos Gods care about this one human dude's plan to conquer the Empire? It feels like he's going to bring a lot of war and chaos. Wouldn't that be their jam?
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, as we've learned, they all came from Earth. So clearly they're very invested in the going-ons of Terra. Obviously. But also, hey, fascism is a form of order, kids.
Yeah.
Control and unification. It's not very chaotic if everybody's running the same playbook.
Yes.
And the Emperor certainly wasn't going to invite any non-human worlds to join his super special club or leave them alone to just exist as they are. So, a thirst for control knows no bounds. And the Chaos Gods referred to the Emperor as the anathema. Because he's literally a poison to chaos.
Yes.
I, side tangent, found that deeply interesting. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, no, that's great. Like, this is not order versus chaos, as in good versus evil. It is just, do you want order or do you want chaos? And the result of the both are look different, but kind of the same for everybody around.
Yep.
I was like, ooh, that's a theme. That's an important theme right there. Let's pay attention to that, kids. So, at this point, with all the super special designer babies, so these are not clones, by the way. This is super important.
Yes.
Humans didn't have cloning tech, so they're just like his most perfect base genome and like some other stuff, including at one point some non-human stuff, which feels like it'd be super antithetical to this very like human-only guy. But clearly this is someone who's willing to break his own rules to get what he wants.
Yes.
So, you know. So at this point, all the super designer babies have been whisked away. So he's going to pivot. But he's going to take the blueprint of those super designer babies, and that's what he uses to make his Space Marines.
Yeah.
We finally got there. We're 40 minutes into the
They're
episode,
the thing, yeah.
and the Space Marines are here. So these super soldiers were fashioned through, quote, a hard regime of genetic modification, psycho-conditioning, and rigorous training. The Imperial Army located human worlds across the stars and systematically conquered, generously brought them back into the Imperium's fold. This happened for quite a while, as we're building towards the setting that we know now at what was the start of the game in 1987. But we're not there yet, kids.
Right.
Because there was a small hiccup in the Emperor's plan. A galactic civil war orchestrated by one of the Primarchs, Horus. Now, rediscovering the human worlds inevitably led the Emperor to refinding all the Primarchs, because that's where they were. And he's like, great, hey, you super cool guy who has a lot of great skills already, you're actually one of my sons. And it's like, neat, I guess I'm going to join the Emperor and be super powerful and respected. And that goes super smooth, except unfortunately, their time away from the Emperor's graces left a lot of the Primarchs like vulnerable to outside influences, including Chaos God manipulation. And Horus, who was the first Primarch who'd been rediscovered, does ultimately fall under the thrall of the Chaos Gods, who feed on his own insecurities about his relationship to the Emperor and convince him to lead a rebellion against the Imperium. Half of the other Primarchs and quite a few Space Marines joined their side. But fortunately, despite this deep betrayal, the revolt ultimately fails.
Right.
Now known as the Horus Heresy, these events ended in the 31st millennium, creating the world as it's known in the year 40,000 and the age of the Imperium. So now, welcome to the 41st millennium.
Hooray, we're here.
We're here. And the Emperor sat on the Golden Throne for 10,000 years. Now, the Emperor is immortal, so you'd be forgiven for thinking he's just been there, like, being a guy ruling the throne. But unfortunately, defeating the traitorous Primarch, at the end of the Horus heresy came at a devastating cost. The Emperor destroyed Horus with a psychic attack so potent, it wiped the War Master's soul from existence.
Damn.
So the Chaos Gods could not resurrect him. Gone. You're just gone. You ever get grounded so hard your dad erases your soul? But doing such an intense Omega level mutant attack actually devastated the Emperor's body to a point where his own regenerative abilities failed him. And so the Golden Throne, which was another thing entirely, and then when this happened, it got refashioned into what it is now. Don't worry about that. It's the Golden Throne, and it exists on what is now Holy Terra. Is essentially an uber-powerful life support system, holding the Emperor just in between the stasis of life and death. While his mind remains active, existing within the warp to allow for interstellar travel with the Astromicon, his body decays. To sustain humanity's God King, 1,000 psychers are sacrificed every day, preserving is not the right word, because it's definitely still decaying.
Yeah.
Let's say feeding.
Yeah.
Feeding the skeleton on the throne. But the Golden Throne is failing, which is terrible timing, since an ancient threat is literally awakening. Hey, you remember the Necron? They're back! And these Xeno-Terminators are looking to eradicate all life everywhere. I think they're still pissed about the old ones not helping them cure cancer, honestly. And meanwhile, we've got the Tau Empire knocking at your door. This is an elemental-themed alien civilization preaching the greater good that has convinced quite a few other civilizations, including some former Imperium human worlds, to join them. So these human worlds are considered like the ultimate traitors by the Imperium. They're most blacklisted. And let's not forget the orcs and the Tyrannid, which is like an insect-like species that just seem to be attacking left and right. Plus you've got the ever-present threat of chaos. That one time reality ripped itself apart. Cadia broke before the guard did.
Thank you.
And a plague war brought about by Nurgle. With all these threats, it's little wonder why there's a looming fear about how humanity would cope if no longer protected by the Emperor's light. And now we've reached the present, which is basically the start of 40 years worth of in-universe events. And so much has happened now that the game exists in the 42nd millennium, so really it's 41K.
I didn't even know that.
I think, yeah. I kept scrolling down the timeline, and eventually I started to see 42M, and I'm like, or no, yeah, 42, and I'm like, what the fuck? Excuse me? What is this?
You're not supposed to be here. We found an extra hammer.
I think it's 41K. Hold on. But that seems super new. Like, fresh. These are the most recent entries. And so that is the end of what was basically just a really big history lesson. And now I want to talk about the factions of 40K.
Hell yeah.
Because scrolling down the timeline of everything that happened in-game, nothing caught my eye enough for me to be like, well, yes, it's too granular. I just wanted to do the big thing. Now we're going to talk about the factions.
Hell
and
yeah.
for this, I hit up the official Warhammer 40,000 website.
Nice.
They have a great page that is just the armies.
Hell yeah.
And I really liked the text, the flavor text on this. The armies of the 41st millennium explore the warring factions of the far future. Which will you choose?
Ooh.
And that just felt like a little bit like retro marketing to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I love the vibe. Like, it's like, I feel like things don't like market it. Like, what?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was like, what's your Star Wars story? Which is the thing I hate about Disney theme parks. I don't want my Star Wars story. I want to live someone else's story that you carefully crafted for me. Stop making everything so bland and generic. Be specific.
Yes.
Anyway, this isn't a Disney podcast. You should go listen to my buddy's podcast, Standby Line. If you want to hear some cool dudes talk about theme parks.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about factions. All right. Now, I'm sure there are lots of like subclasses or defunct factions scattered throughout 40 years of this thing. There's a lot over in AOS, so I gotta imagine.
Yeah.
But at the time of writing the notes, they'd already gotten to 11 pages long. So I decided not to like do a crazy I decided not to let the wiki guide my hand on this one, and I was only going to focus on like the armies you could buy and play like right now, like today.
I think that makes sense. Absolutely.
First, and also I'm going to like frame them as they were listed on the 40K page, like this one here, which is a little different than how they were being presented on the wiki, but I liked this breakdown better, so I'm going to follow it. First up, Space Marines. Of course, it's
classic. Yep.
Yes, and I liked the description for it. There is no combat theater in which the Space Marines cannot excel, no foe they cannot overcome, and no danger they fear to face. They are the elite shock troops of the Imperium, conducted with such spectacular brutality that they have come to be known as the Angels of Death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Cool army dudes, you sold me.
Yeah.
If you want to do some specifics, we've got the Black Templars, who are, what I could gather, the religious zealots of the Space Marines. You've got the Blood Angels, who seem to be the most noble and deeply loyal, and also cursed.
Yep.
I was like, what do you mean there are curses? Yeah, so do you remember the Horus Heresy? Where a lot of the Primarchs, like, betrayed, so their guy didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was killed by Mr. Horus Heresy himself, that psychic shockwave went through all of... Can you remember they were all built off his genetic blueprint?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with sci-fi magic, now all members of the Blood Angels have physically painful visions of the moment of this dude's death.
Mm-hmm.
Where they feel that pain and also can't do anything to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
And as they get older, it just gets worse. And you're like, what?
I have a bonus Blood Angels fact.
Please.
They are compelled to drink blood.
Hey. Hey. Why didn't I see that?
I don't know.
No, that's crazy. Because it's one, not listed on the website. Here's a couple things. I didn't stick just to this webpage because sometimes it would say a thing, but it wouldn't explain the thing because it's clearly like, oh, you want to learn more? Like, here's a taste. And so then I would go back to the wiki and I would look up Blood Angels because it mentioned they were cursed. And I'm like, what do you mean they're cursed? So I go back to the wiki and I look up Blood Angels. I scroll until I see this thing about the psychic visions and the pain and the guy dying. And I'm like, damn, that fucking sucks. The blood thing definitely should have been like way fucking higher. Because what do you mean I missed that?
This is the part I feel like it'd be fun for me to just like interject with like fun facts
Absolutely.
Because they're Primarch sanguineous, right? All of the Primarchs have flaws in their gene seed. Like that's a thing. And so Sanguinius also craved drinking blood, but he like suppressed it and he only did it in like secret to like quench that. Because they're doing a noble monster thing where it's like he didn't want to do it. He just did it because he knew if he didn't, he would be too like crashed out to be noble and good. And so the Blood Angels are twice cursed because they have Sanguinius's flaw, which is the red thirst. And now they also have, that's called the Black Rage.
Rage.
And not only is it like a debilitating like vision of Sanguinius's death, but sometimes it also makes them see everyone around them as Horus, and they just try and murder everyone.
That's a Hera level curse. You offended the goddess Hera, and now she is cursing you to kill your own family. Like, that's crazy. All right. So next up, we have the Dark Angels, because blood was already taken. No, I'm kidding. So it's described as they were the very first legion of Space Marines, and that they have a terrible secret that they hide from even members of their own ranks. And that's another thing. I jump back over to the wiki and I'm like, what's the terrible secret? Dark Angels. Now it took me a while to find the Dark Angel page. I don't know why it was buried so far. Weirdly hard to find. But their terrible secret is that it was members of their own chapter that joined the Chaos Gods during the Horus Heresy. And they're like, well, the only way to redeem ourselves is to murder every one of them.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, man, okay. I can see how that's the only way to recover from the blight upon your history.
Yeah.
Sure.
The Dark Angels Primarch is Lionel Johnson.
What do you mean, L. Johnson? No, you said Lionel, and I thought that's a great name,
nope.
and you kept talking.
His name is Lion L. Johnson.
It can't be that.
It is, in fact, that. But it's for good reason. It's because he is a reference to real-life British poet Lionel Johnson.
Okay.
Whose most famous work of poetry was called Dark Angel.
What kind of... It's 2009, and I'm a ragey emo Tumblr kid is this?
I also
Lionel!
don't know. It's like a well talked about thing in 40K spaces, but I don't know how intentional it was. Like, I kind of like, I don't know where to give credit, because I want to feel like the people at 40K did it on purpose, but I could also see them just being like famous UK poet. But like Dark Angel is about like real poet Lionel Johnson struggling with the contrast between his like sexuality and being able to openly present that in like the extremely homophobic like British public. And so like that kind of maps onto the Dark Angels thing of like trying to hunt down the traitor Dark Angels.
Yeah,
like,
don't want
this
you
like
can't know the
secret shame
truth about our identity, or
yeah.
this shameful. Yeah. R.I.P. Lionel Johnson. You would have loved
Right.
Tumblr scene era. I'm sorry for making fun of you earlier. I didn't know you were a sad gay like us. I apologize. That's on me for jumping to conclusions. I should have known only a sad gay could have written a poem called Dark Angel in the era. I will give the Games Workshop folks some credit, because like, I don't know, I wouldn't have expected the fantasy thing to also have some weird sci-fi stuff, because someone there who's working on it was like into sci-fi and stuff. So like, yeah, I will give them credit and be like, yeah, we can, until proven otherwise, think that maybe one of the people working on this faction was like also really into this dude's poetry and like thought that would be like a cool thing to bring to the table. Like, yeah,
I'm into it.
All the things we make are like facets of ourselves, and I'd like to think that those were there intentionally. But I don't know, until proven otherwise.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
seems like a pretty good thing.
I like it. Yeah.
Next up, we have the Death Watch, who read to me as like even the Special Marines Special Forces, where they are allowed to use like forbidden weaponry and technology to get the job done. And it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Death Watch is a fun name.
Yeah. They are not their own chapter. Like, they don't draw their allegiance from, or their gene seed from any one Primarch.
Oh.
It's a punishment.
Oh.
They're the people on the wall from Game of Thrones. It's like, you fucked up real bad. You're on the Death Watch now.
See, if if it hadn't already been 11 pages long, I definitely would have been like, ooh, I want to tell you, that's so good. Okay, I'm so glad you know these things. This is so fun. All right, so the Grey Knights are up next. They specialize in fighting chaos specifically.
Yeah. They also don't have a Primarch.
Oh.
But it's implied that they might be from the Emperor directly.
Ooh.
Because they're all psychic, which is not common among Space Marines.
That makes sense. If you're going to fight the chaos, though, you definitely probably want to have the space magics.
Yes.
And last, we have Space Wolves, who are Space Marines with wolves.
Yeah. They're Viking.
Hey, why?
code.
Yeah, they were Vikings. Okay,
Yeah.
I was right. I saw them and I'm like, these are some fucking space Vikings. That's Fenrir right there.
A lot of the stuff that's like cultural stuff about the legions is because of their Primarchs, right? So the legions were formed while the Primarchs were missing, but once the Primarchs were found, they were put in charge of their legions with the authority to kind of do whatever they wanted with them. And so that's how we get Leman Russ is the Primarch of the Space Wolves. And he was transported to a planet called Fenris, which is a frozen hellscape of a planet that had its own like Viking culture and huge terrifying wolves and all that stuff. And so when he got in charge of the Space Wolves, who were a pretty like by the book, like whatever, we're just gonna do our own thing, he was like, this party sucks, we're not following the rules anymore, come join me on doing wolf shit. Basically.
That's kind of great. Hey, yeah, remember when I said Darren was starting from 0 and Dalton was not?
I really liked everything you found. I just like injecting little.
I don't.
Like,
I haven't. I'm so glad you have this, because it's like because here's the thing. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm done with the lore. I want to talk about the factions.
Yes.
Because I recognize that's the cool part.
Yes.
Like that's the thing that's bringing people to the table. Like that is what I wanted to definitely make space for in this lore episode. Even though I was like, I cannot deep dive too deeply into the lore, because that's how I'm going to get too much lost in the weeds. Like I can recognize when a hyperlink is going to send me down a thing that I'm going to end up not actually being able to use in the episode, because it's going to become too messy, too fibrous and long, and I just have to like and deep diving too much into the individual factions was that thing, because this would be its own episode. Literally their own episodes in Bad Moon's orbit. These are their own episodes. So here they can't be so deep. So I'm so glad you have more to bring to the table, because these are the cool things that people deeply love. Yeah. So please,
because you said last but not least,
those are the ones that are listed on the Warhammer 40,000 website /the-armies.com.
Yes. I think those are the ones with like their own model ranges.
Yes, those are the ones you can buy today and actually play.
I'm just going to speed run the ones that I know people wants to mention, because they don't have their own like dedicated models, but you can paint just like default Space Marine to be from that legion.
I think it was the other thing I was doing is like, I can't list every single one of them. No. It's going to be too cumbrous. If you can't buy it, I can't do it. So Dalton, please go.
The Ultramarines are the default blue paint scheme. When you see a blue Space Marine, that's an Ultramarine.
Okay.
They are the 13th Legion. And
I did see that mentioned a couple times.
Yeah. Their Primarch is Rabute Gilliman.
Okay.
Who everyone memes on his name in a very Bender Dirk, Burn, Robot Gorilla Man, etc., who literally wrote the book on how to be a good Space Marine. It's called the Codex Astartes, and it's literally like the rules for running a Space Marine Legion, and all Loyalist chapters are defined by how closely they align to the Codex Astartes. So like the Ultramarines are 100% Codex compliant, and the Space Wolves are 0% Codex compliant, right?
I probably should have listed all the Primarchs. I'm sorry, y'all. Earlier, there's fine. Just 20 of them. And I'm like, that seems like a lot of names just to list. Like,
I also wanted to mention that because there's 21 of them, and we don't know who 2 of them are.
Jesus, what do you mean? What?
Because there's 20. There was supposed to be 20.
Yeah.
2 of them were twins. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's statistically very likely. I didn't think about twins.
Yep. So that's 21. One of them died before the Emperor found them. That's the Lost. We don't even know their name. And one of them turned against the Imperium before the heresy and were put down. That's the Damned.
Oh.
So we just know that they're the Lost and the Damned, and that's it.
Ooh. See, again. In an act, this would have been its own episode.
Yeah.
Because me just listing off all their names wouldn't have been super interesting to hear. But this is fucking interesting.
But I think it's a fun,
That is really cool. Because here's the other thought I had. When I saw the number, there were 20 of these. And I'm like, I didn't know there was more than that. That's great. I also thought there were definitely some trans women in that bunch.
Right.
It's statistically not very likely that 100% of these designer babies turned out to be cis dudes. Fucking no way in hell.
Listen, if we got Vivian, then yeah. Elon's trans daughter.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you. I was like, I don't recognize it. Yes, I forgot about her. Yeah, she's great. Good for her. I hope she gets everything she wants in life.
Right.
But yeah, just statistically, it feels like. So, like, James Workshop. Pull the fucking trigger.
Sorry, last one's the Loyalist Space Marines, because I know people will mention them.
Please.
The White Scars are, like, Mongolia themed. They ride bikes everywhere.
That's cool.
But, like, cool space bikes. You can just, like, because all Space Marines can ride bikes.
Okay.
So you just paint them white. Okay. You put scars on them.
I'll have my opinions about the whole no models thing later. Dalton's already heard it.
Their Primarch is, I've never said his name out loud before, Jagati Khan.
Sure.
Because Mongolia themed. Yeah. And also, Gilliman and the Lion are alive.
What?
Yeah. We thought they were dead for a long time, and they're not. They're
cool.
just around. And then, like, there's a couple that's, like, there's definitely set up to, because, like, we last saw the Khan, like, literally chasing, like, Chaos Space Marines into the webway.
Yeah.
And
as you would.
Corvus Corax.
Corvus
Corax, the head of the I don't fucking know his legion. I just know his name because his name is Crow.
Crow!
Or Ferrus Manus of the Iron Fists, whose name means Iron Fist.
All right, moving on to the armies of the Imperium. And I saw this and I'm like, why the fuck is Space Marine and armies of, what do you mean? And it's like, because you have all the Space Marines and then these are like a different thing. And I understand that, but it did annoy me. Like, you understand why that would annoy me?
Absolutely.
Like, it's not like armies of the Imperium and then you have branch Space Marine here. Like, I get what they did, but like, I'm irritated.
Wolverine and the X-Men, yeah.
Wolverine and the X-Men, it's exactly that. So, up first, we have the Adeptus Sororitas, which is the girl one.
Yeah.
That's condescending. But they use flamethrowers, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not cool enough, but
no.
Sure. The Adeptus Custodius, who I was trying to figure out, like, why are these guys different? What's their fucking deal? As far as I could tell, like, all of your other Space Marines are just mass produced. Right? They're all. I'm getting like clone army vibes a little bit.
They're not clones.
They're not clones, but like, just kind of like. But these guys are like individually handmade by the Emperor himself. And I'm like, okay, sure. They're the first and greatest super soldiers engineered by the Emperor. And I'm like, so like, and this is the thing I couldn't figure out. And I could have spent more time on their wiki and I chose not to. First is in they were made all the way back on Terra, like originally for the Crusade, or just like.
No, they don't leave Terra.
Oh, there's a Terra.
They're the Emperor's bodyguards.
Oh, see, there it
that's
is.
why Custodes. They're custodians of the Emperor.
Yeah.
They're also co-ed.
Really?
Yeah, Custodes
nice.
are men and women because they're unique handcrafted.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Neat.
My sororitas fun fact is that the reason in lore they're an all-female chapter is for a legal loophole. Because the Emperor explicitly said that the
Emperor had Title IX he had to worry about? Like, what do you mean a legal loophole?
The ecclesiarchy, which is the branch of the Imperium government that handles all religious matters, is explicitly forbidden in Imperial law from keeping their own standing military.
Okay.
But the way that law is worded is that they cannot keep any men at arms.
Oh, well.
Yep. But they can have as many women at arms as they want.
Hey, y'all should read Men at Arms by Terry Pratchett. It's a great book.
So that's why the sororitas are entirely female.
Excellent, great.
That's the bit.
No notes. Actually, lots of notes, but I can't get over it here. There's the Adeptus Mechanicus, which are cyborg armies.
Yeah.
And that was fun. I was delighted because I also understand that you are not allowed to build artificial intelligence.
Yep.
And that came from the whole Men of Iron fiasco, which I think, honestly, fair.
Yep.
That one I'll give you. Yeah. But they're just cyborgs, not AI, just, you know, got a cool robot arm.
Yeah.
And they have a thirst, or more accurately, a bloodthirst for knowledge.
Yeah.
They're like hunting down lost lore and ancient relics, and it's like they will kill you to get that knowledge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Athena would be proud. And that seemed pretty fun. And I think early on in my research, I read a thing where it's like all of like the knowledge we have comes from them compiling it all together. So, you know, be critical of the sources we're bringing to the table.
Yes.
It's obviously bias.
Nothing new is invented in 40K. It's all rediscovered from the dark age of technology because the Mechanicus has like a complete monopoly on like the production of stuff. And creating new things is tech heresy.
Oh, heresy, you say?
Yeah, you can only dig up old stuff. And that's why they're so desperate for knowledge, because they can only make new stuff by finding records of old stuff.
And just like recreating the thing.
Yeah.
Oof, yeah, okay.
They're based out of Mars.
Yeah, I saw that. It's in a Mars treaty. I was like, I can't click that hyperlink. We're 12 pages into research. I can't click that hyperlink.
They have a shard of a Kraton.
What?
Chained up in their basement.
Oh, dogs.
Yeah.
You gotta look out for that. That's gonna go bad eventually. It's like the elves having Slanesh tied up in their fucking basement.
There is a really good video game just called Adeptus Mechanicus.
Ooh.
Or just called Mechanicus, I think.
It's a better name.
Yeah. That is so good because it just has like 5 talking heads from the Mechanicus, and you get to see their like thought process and stuff. And I love it terribly because it's such an alien look at like how people might do with like high tech stuff. Where like the head guy talks about how he compartmentalizes his like mental processes relating to strong emotion so that he still feels them, but they don't override any of his other like processes. So that because he recognizes the value in like anger, like recognizing that anger has happened because something bad has happened, and the like mental landscape that creates in him, but he doesn't want to make rash decisions about it. So it's literally just like a ping notification that he's angry. And that's fascinating.
Yeah.
I like that. And the variances of it, because there's like one guy who talks entirely in tech language and someone else has to translate for him. Because that's the level he's decided to go to of like, it's more efficient for me to communicate in binary. Because where,
Sir, you need a translator.
But Mechanicus is great. It's a fun game. You should play.
What kind of game is it?
It's like an XCOM, like squad-based tactics game.
That makes sense. It's
so
Warhammer.
you outfit your tech priests and you send them into battle alongside the Skitarii, which are the like non-cyborg, like normal people that serve as the Mechanicus' army, and you shoot a lot of Necrons because
of course you do. Yeah, because they're fucking Terminators.
Yep.
Here's the thing about all of this we're doing here today is that it feels like, tragically, Age of Sigmar has a very narrow window of canon.
Yes.
Right? It's got some books, and it's got the tomes. What are they called?
Battle tomes.
Thank you. Battle tomes, right? And that is great for research. Like that makes it. It's like when I was running the Norse mythology season of Muse Mythology. I just grabbed the Eddas, and I looked in the index, and I found every mention of Fenrir and I read the Eddas.
Yeah.
It was pretty narrow.
Yeah.
But it's pretty straightforward. Over here in 40K land, you've got the tomes, right? And then the editions, and then there's books, and also there's video games.
Yep.
And also comics, I would imagine.
Oh, probably.
And also other kinds of board games and things like that. And it's just such a bigger franchise that has way more canon materials to try to pick through. It's wild.
Right.
And I'm angry that we don't have it over in AOS.
Right.
What the hell? Make better video games is what I'm saying.
We'll get there eventually. We had the really bad ones.
Just make a roguelike that follows a Stormcast that goes through the just make it like Hades.
Yeah.
And you're going through the
Stormcast
different
Hades.
mortal realms and you're meeting cool characters and you're building relationships and you're fighting fucking chaos gods. This is not hard. And yet I feel like someone's just refusing to do the cool thing right there. This is not an AOS episode though. So I will get back into 40K. Then there's one more faction that you could buy in the Armies Imperium that you could play today, and it's called Astra Militarium. And they're just like World War I, World War II army dudes?
Yep.
Yeah. I was looking at them and I'm like, that's just like a guy in a beret. What do you mean there is a guy in a beret? What are you going to do against a chaos demon, sir? I guess shoot it in the face.
Mostly die.
That is. They're just the shield wall. They're just the ground forces.
Yep.
That's a bummer. I feel bad for them. That was a crazy thing to discover.
From a gameplay perspective, they fill the same niche as Skaven.
Oh, that's embarrassing for them.
Extremely expendable, like cheap foot troops backed by like big machines and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they also had one of those big like, you're watching like a vaguely steampunk war movie. You got a walker. Okay, so those are our humans. It's all bad.
Yeah.
We're gonna go over here to the forces of chaos.
Nice.
But do you still want to play a Space Marine? You can do that! Welcome to Chaos Space Marines! Remember that big secret carried by the Dark Angels? That's them! Not even the Emperor super soldiers are immune to the lure of chaos. And if you fancy serving a specific chaos god, we've got some factions for you.
Yeah.
You could be a Death Guard. And that's Nurgle's infectious, plague-ridden warriors.
Yeah.
You could be a member of the Thousand Sons, who are Tzeentch's eldritch mad sorcerers. You could be a World Eater, great name, who are Khorne's Legion of Berserkers. And then I clicked again, and there wasn't another Space Marine for the Chaos God faction. And I'm like, what do you mean? Where's Slaanesh? Games Workshop.
Update your website.
Update your website. Dog. So I don't know what's going on here. This feels like Khorne interference. Right? Is Khorne the one that specifically hates?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it right. I remembered. This feels like Khorne interference.
Yes.
You're not allowed to learn about it.
Khorne wants outcomes. Slaanesh wants experiences.
Yep.
That's
there
their
it is.
conflict. Yep.
I remembered a thing about Warhammer lore
Hell
that
yeah.
I didn't look up for this episode. So, okay, well, good. Or you can be a member of the Emperor's Chosen. No? What
Children.
Was it? Children. The Emperor's Children. I don't have a cool tagline for them because I didn't learn that you could buy that kit.
They're all excess stuff. They're go-to, like, we're a Chaos Space Marine, but we're extra chaosy towards our god, are Noise Marines. Implant, like, speakers and stuff under their skin, like, in between their muscles and whatnot.
Oh, no.
Because silence offends Slaanesh.
You know what? I do always have an earbud in my ear listening to something, so I get that. I do get that. Now, let's say you want to serve chaos, but you, like, don't want to be a Space Marine. Good news, you can also just play Chaos Demons.
Yeah.
And that's a faction where you can paint a bunch of weird monsters rather than just big pieces of armor.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have their own rules and stuff too. Like, I obviously don't know that.
Yeah.
We're not a rules podcast, but that's what I was like. If you want to do this, but have a bunch of weird little guys, this is for you.
You can mix them all together.
Yeah, that
which
makes
you
sense.
can't do with like if you're playing Emperor's Children, they're all Slanesh aligned. But if you play demons, you can do here's some Tzeentch demons and here's some Slanesh
We have
demons
all the demons.
and Bellacor's here.
What the fuck is Bellacore doing here?
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Bellacore. Go home.
He's a demon.
Demon. And obviously, like there are like demon princes in this one, and I think they're like demon primarchs. And I that was another hyperlink that I didn't let myself click. That I was like, nope, can't do that. Stay on target. Stay on the theme of existence's destruction. Keep focused.
I'm just gonna run down real quick so people know we mentioned them. Also, because they all have models you can play. Unlike the
fuck is this?
The Imperium Primarchs, we just have Gorilla Man and the Lion. All the main god Chaos Primarchs you can play, and we're probably getting Perturabo at some point.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Angron of the World Eaters is my favorite because he was the only one who didn't want to join the Emperor. He was leading a slave revolt on his home planet when the
you
Emperor
told me
found
about
him.
this guy.
Yeah, and then the Emperor was like, nope, that's not important, and just like warped him up to his ship and left with him. And all of his fellow revolutionaries died because he wasn't there to support him anymore. So yeah, he was a real quick join on that.
Oh, as soon as Horus rolls up, he's like,
Yeah.
I've honestly been looking for a reason.
Yep.
I actually was going to do it tomorrow, so yeah, this is fine.
He's a big Balrog monster now because all the demon Primarchs are demons.
Yes, and that's why we get models for all of them.
Yeah.
They're probably cool.
Magnus is the Primarch of the Thousand Suns. He's
Okay.
a big sorcerer guy.
As he
He's
would
got bird wings because Tzeentch.
Kazinch.
Magnus the Red because he has, I don't know if it was like his flaw or something he got from his planet, but he's red.
It's just red.
Yeah, he's just very red.
Cool.
He also is either missing an eye or was only born with one eye, but he like glamours his face with his psychic powers. Also, his whole legion is dust.
Like physically dust or like poetically dust?
They're just like dust inhabiting the armor.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Did that happen before or after the chaos thing?
After.
That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of ghost armor.
Yes.
Is he animated in with the magic or psychic power? Or
Yeah, somewhere in the middle there. I don't know
Okay.
the details, but that's the
don't either.
Thousand Suns.
Cool.
Mortarion of the Death Guard. He's the Nurgle one.
Uh-huh.
He's got big fly wings
As he would.
because he's
Of course he does. He's
Nurgle.
Nurgle.
That's
yeah.
literally all I know about him. He's got a scythe because it's like Nurgle aesthetic.
Yeah, makes sense.
Fulgrim of the Emperor's Children. He's a big snake monster
Aha.
because Slanesh.
Yep.
There's a clone of Fulgrim who's good.
What?
Yeah, he's still just kicking around the Imperium.
When you say good, you mean loyal to
he's
the Imperium.
yeah, he's loyal to
not,
the
like,
Imperium.
good.
Sorry, yeah. He's
Clarify.
not chaos aligned.
He's
yeah.
not chaos aligned. Okay.
Which I think is meant to illustrate the like none of this was preordained.
You
Like
didn't have
all
to go
this,
this way.
yeah, all of this was still choices that people made because this one didn't.
Yeah. you
Like
could have
this
made a
one didn't
different
follow the
choice.
chaos. Yeah. Also,
That's so interesting.
probably my favorite 40k character is a Slanesh aligned Space Marine because he's the best duelist in existence. But
Okay,
anyone...
I know what you mean when you say duelist in this context. I definitely did just picture Yugi going,
yeah.
it's time to duel!
anyone who kills him and gets any amount of satisfaction from the act turns into him.
Ah!
Yep, Lucius the Eternal.
That's so creepy.
Uh-huh.
Is it still the same guy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's so creepy.
Uh-huh.
Like any kind of satisfaction, even just a relief of surviving the
Yep.
encounter. Damn.
Yep. So just everyone who kills him turns into him, basically.
So anybody that doesn't experience any emotion whatsoever, we can send after this. I'm just trying to solve this riddle. I'm just trying to solve this puzzle.
The one I see people joke about is that we just put him in a room with a big gorilla.
Really don't care.
Gorilla don't care. Or we would get to watch a gorilla turn into Lucius the Eternal, which is its own kind of reward.
Listen, either way, we win, they lose. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, go.
No. I was enjoying it. That was the end of our demons, our chaos alliance.
Nice.
So, last we have the Xeno threat, and I feel like it reveals a lot about the Imperium that Chaos faction isn't officially titled threat,
Right.
but the aliens are.
Yes.
Like, I understand that this is just I guess I don't know for sure, but I was reading it as like, this is what the Imperium refers to these things as.
Yes.
And the Xenothreat is what the Imperium calls literally every other alien race out there. And it's just Also, that these distinct civilizations are all just lumped together.
Yep.
It's definitely giving like World War II propaganda, Red
Yes.
Scare, Lavender Threat bullshit.
Yes.
Like, which is intentional. Like, this is
Yeah,
by
yes.
design. And I thought
Yes.
that was really interesting, like, subtle storytelling.
Yes.
So, up first, we're going to talk about the Eldari, because as I mentioned earlier, they are space elves with laser guns.
Yeah.
Because all their planets were lost when Slaanesh moved to
Mm-hmm.
town, they live on planet-sized spaceships called craft worlds.
Yeah.
Which is a thing I learned because that term kept coming up, and I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Next, would you like to play a space elf but sadistic? Well, you can buy a faction of the Dukari, who are sadistic space elves with laser guns. We mentioned them earlier, but coming back to the scene are the Tyranids. Eat your heart out, plagues of Egypt. Do you want to play a swarm of locusts? You can! They have a hive mind.
My Tyranid fun fact is that Imperium researchers who have like shot deep space probes into the, because Tyranids are a new arrival in the galaxy.
They just
weren't
got
around-
here.
Yeah, they weren't around during like the War in Heaven and stuff. They're from a different
Yeah,
like
the
galaxy.
old ones
Yeah.
did not create them.
No. So Imperium researchers who have shot like long distance like survey probes and stuff into the part of space that the direction of space that Tyranids came from.
It's just silence.
It's just
You've told me this
silence.
before.
Yes, it's just silence and orc noises because you're always gonna get orcs.
But it's silence because they have destroyed everything they came in contact
Yes.
with. Yeah, that's the vibe.
Yep.
Now, do you want to play a human, but you're also still aligned with the Tyranids? You fucking can do that. Welcome in Gene Stealer cults.
Yeah.
And that required several hyperlinks to figure out what the hell was going on here, gang. So they are a human faction that has been infected by Tyranid gene stealers.
Yes.
And now they worship the Xenos and also sabotage the Imperium from within, which feels like it'd be very, very scary for the Imperium.
Yes.
Like this concept. I'm into it.
My fun fact for the Gene Stealer cults is that they have the best like reveal trailer of anything in 40K.
Really?
I love it so much. It's like a hand painted from the perspective of one of their like prophets, one of the like cultists of like talking about the like day of ascension, the like, oh, like when the like gods will arrive and deliver us from this like horrid like Imperium existence.
Next up, I'd like to introduce you to the Leagues of Votan, who are space dwarfs.
Yeah.
They definitely reproduce just through cloning.
Yep.
And are led by self-aware machine intelligence. Benevolence? Yeah. Seems to be the, from what I could gather, is the upload consciousness of their ancestors?
Yes, but also might be Men of Iron.
Ah, shit. See, I didn't
Yep.
see that. Oh,
We don't know
spooky
for
as
sure.
fuck.
We don't know for sure. Yeah, those are the Votan.
Yeah.
And they're you know.
Yeah.
Votan's
I mean,
another
but
way of
you don't know
saying-
I know that or not. I don't know what the fuck I know.
Well, I was gonna say because Votan is a
Votan is the thing.
Yeah, but it's also archaic way of saying Odin. They're also Viking-y.
Fuck, yeah,
Yep.
there. Damn, it's right there. Next up, we can talk about the Necron again, and they are space Terminators.
Yeah.
I believe they seem like they also might be a little bit like Egyptomania coded, but like, I couldn't find enough of that to pull on the thread.
Yeah.
So,
My fun fact about the the Necrons is that some of them don't take to the like waking up in robot bodies very well, and they get a unique form of psychosis where their brain can't square the fact that they don't have skin anymore. And those are called
phantom.
Yes, they have phantom limb syndrome for their own layer of skin, and those are called flayers because they just find things to tear the skin off of and then like wear it.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Yep, there it is.
Yep.
Fuck, that's upsetting.
Sometimes the AI gets psychosis.
Sometimes gives AI psychosis.
Yeah.
It's the only way we're gonna win. Nope, don't win that. I don't want to win that way.
Also, they have a kleptomaniac guy who I really like.
You keep just stealing people's skin? Like what?
No, not the flares specifically, but the Necrons.
Okay.
Trazen, he's one of them. I can't remember his name, but his bit is that he's like, he sees himself as like the supreme archaeologist of the galaxy, trying to preserve like moments of culture that might get lost by like just the horrifying grind of history. But the way he goes about that is it's like he'll show up on like a planet and just like take the whole living room, including its occupants, and then just put them on like a shelf. Like,
it's so crazy.
He might have the lost Primarch. We don't know for sure.
Damn it, that's so fucking funny. Please let him have the lost Primarch. Yeah. No, that's so fun. Please let him have the lost Primarch.
He just shows up to stuff and like nabs people and like puts them on display in his big like archive.
That's so crazy for Space Terminator to do.
It's so funny.
It's giving British Museum.
I think yes. I think that's Trazen. I can't remember. But yeah,
so fun.
He's just very funny because.
And then we got orcs.
Yeah,
they're orcs in space.
Yeah,
they're looking for a good fight. We talked about them a lot. But side tangent I want to go on real quick is that early in my wanderings through threads and forums trying to like build this episode, I came across a Reddit post that claimed that the Imperium's greatest foe, the orc warlord Gonskol Mag Urk Thakra, was a reference to the British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, because name sounds alike, and she was very intense and not great. So digging deeper, I have found that this is just a fan theory.
Yeah.
Not true. Andy Chambers, who's a writer and game designer for Games Workshop, and also the writer who created this character, has said that that's not the case. The phonetic similarities are just purely coincidental.
Yeah.
Chambers, who first introduced this character in White Dwarf magazine issue 134, stated that the name comes from a play on orcish black speech from Lord of the Rings that he and his friend would use in their gaming groups, and that in lore the orc's name translates to Metal Skull Big Orc Leader in the in-universe human language of Low Gothic.
Fun.
So yeah. And then the last of the Xeno threat that you can play are the Tau Empire, who's that earlier mentioned elemental-themed aliens that are a diplomacy-first empire working towards the greater good and seeking to, quote, show its enemy the error of their ways. Ominous.
Yeah.
So the 40 Hammer 40K what?
No, that's what the 40 Hammer 40K
Leave that one in.
Yep. Oh yeah, you don't have to tell me.
It's 11 o'clock at night. The Warhammer 40K webpage for armies has a quiz that'll help you pick an army. I love websites for a thing that has a vast and hefty lore that has a handy little quiz. Did you know that the Discworld Emporium website has a quiz to help you pick what Discworld book you should read? We've mentioned enough recently that you should check out that quiz.
Yes.
So I obviously took the quiz because I was there, and I got the Eldari.
Hey.
Which, that makes sense. And this is absolutely correct. Because, hey, I promised I was only going to stick on factions you could buy. I fucking lied. Early on in my research, when I was learning about the Eldari, I stumbled down a rabbit hole about the Harlequin. They are, and you guys, sit the fuck down. I'm going to tell you about the Harlequin, all right? They are a carnival-themed sect of the Eldari who worship the Laughing God, the one out of maybe two, but definitely the one that got away, lone Eldari deity to survive Slaaneish's emergence. They take the concept of theater of war quite fucking literally. I'm obsessed with them. Like, if we were gonna do one more 40K episode, it would be about the Harlequin. Like, my thing at the top, Like, what? What do you mean that there's no carnival-themed faction, army, entity in AOS? This is a great flaw of the Mortal Realms that I just note. I've never been more excited to learn a Warhammer thing. Listen, y'all know I love the Gargoylians. But even the Harlequin. And earlier, when I was telling Dalton about how I am going to mention a faction that wasn't an official one, he's like, oh, was it the Harlequin? And I've just never felt so, like, perceived.
Clocked from 100
Clocked
yards.
from 100 fucking yards. Yeah, of course. I found the thing that mentioned just the word Harlequin. And I'm like, what is that right there? Click? Tell me more. Click, click, click. I could be what is it? These are playing card themed guys? A Joker? It was, embarrassing. Not that Dalton clocked me. That's just friendship. But how much time I spent reading up
Hell yeah.
on this whole deal that is not making into this episode because no, I said I'm pulling on a thread. But yeah, it was a pretty fucking cool. And also, what the fuck do you mean there's not a dedicated mini set I can buy and paint tomorrow? And I was like, maybe they're new. No, they're fucking not. They've been around since the 80s. And this came out at the end of the 80s. What the fuck do you mean you just have to buy the Eldari and then paint one in purple and green
Crazy.
checkerboard pattern? Like, are you kidding me?
Wild.
Leaving, and I know they don't need more money because they have all the money because Warhammer 40k is the biggest mini thing that exists. Like, but I'm just saying, like, how have they not put out the silly little carnival space elves for people to buy and fight with? That just seems so cool to make, let alone to paint and then have armies fight. I'm just perplexed. I don't know. Anyway, the Laughing Guard just might also probably be Slaanesh, I would bet. I didn't see that written anywhere, but now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, like, I would not be surprised.
I could see it.
If it was Slaanesh doing a disguise. That just feels like a thing Slaanesh would do, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
With the entertainers.
Excess, yeah.
The excess. Yeah. Anyway, that's how the Chaos Gods get in.
My Harlequin fun fact is that they are the faction who has gotten the furthest in an assault on Terra.
Shit, really?
Just period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second place is the Orcs, because there was the War of the Beast, where enough orcs got together and the WoW got so intense that some humans started thinking they were orcs, and it just collapsed in from there. But even they only made it. I think they made it to the surface of Terra. A Harlequin left a calling card on the Emperor.
Oh my god!
It's so Harlequin to get that far and then just be like, and we're going to leave a business card, and now we're going to leave because that's funnier.
That's so much fucking funnier to be like, oh, we could have done anything, and maybe we did, and you just haven't noticed yet. Here's the thing: I don't want to play tabletop war games. I'm not very interested in the world of Warhammer 40k. But y'all, the Harlequins are calling to me like a chaos god. I'll tell you what. No, I spend money buying booster packs for Lorcana. I can't also be spending money buying minis and then painting them. No. I do 3 podcasts. I do not have time for this. Moving on. We're leaving the Harlequins. We are, however, real quick, going to do a fun quiz with Dalton.
Oh.
Dalton, would you like to take a little quiz?
Yes.
Okay. So, choose your army. First question. How do you enjoy playing games? 1. I like versatile army that can take on anything it faces. I prefer deliberate, calculated army that controls the flow of battle. I want a synergistic army with elite units that each have their own specialization. Or I want to rush in with a really aggressive army.
4.
How do you prefer to attack your enemy? Destroy, destroy, destroy. The more damage, the better. Precise, calculated strikes are the only sensible way to attack. Apply relentless pressure. Never give the army time to react or adjust their plans.
Lock them in their deployment zone. Let's do 3.
Army. What motivates you? Faith? Earning a place in the history books. I want to plunge the galaxy into madness.
Ooh. Let's do madness that feels the closest to, having a good time.
Having a good time. So you should play Chaos Demons.
Yeah, that tracks.
I mean, the other 2 options were definitely about to throw you at a Space Marine. So, here's the thing. When I was doing my quiz, there was definitely one that I was like, ooh, I'm definitely influenced by what I know about this world. And you are not going to trick me into following Tzeentch. You are not going to trick me into following a fucking Chaos God. Nice goddamn try. Because there was an option that I was like, I'm drawn to that, but I knew exactly who that was fucking about. So knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Being well educated is what keeps you from getting tricked by a chaos god. If you're gonna do it, you want to do it willingly, fully on, or being tricked by a carnival aesthetic that might actually be run by Slaanesh.
Tricked by a carnival aesthetic is a very important. It's part of the Maslow's hierarchy.
Listen, we're very excited to watch the Amazing Digital Circus in theaters, gang. Oh, okay, that was fun. Okay, I was very curious. I'm like, I wonder what Dalton will get. So that is the end of the lore stuff that I have prepared. So if there's any lore stuff that you want to bring to the table that I want to chat about real quick, I'm kind of bring us towards back into the real world, a few final like fun facts and some observations.
Yeah, I kind of said the things that like I want to make a point of mentioning, like the Primarchs. To me, the Primarchs the most interesting thing about 40K because you get like weird family drama stuff, like the whole
what do you mean there's a family soap opera going on here?
The whole history of the heresy, like, or up to the heresy, like the Great Crusade and stuff, is just like family clash, like because Horus was the great war master.
Yeah,
he was the like guy in charge of the Great Crusade right after the Emperor, so the fact that he's the one who turned was like a great betrayal. And like the whole thing. There's a absolutely haunting one of the other perpetuals, Malcador, I want to say his name is.
I saw that name mentioned. Yeah.
He's been there with the Emperor for a while. He's extremely dead because he
died during the heresy, right?
Yeah, he sat on the throne to keep the Astronomicon lit while the Emperor went to fight Horus. And it obliterated him because he's not the Emperor.
He's not the Emperor.
There's a haunting, like, I don't know if it's canon or if it's like a fan comic, but Horus knew the Lost and the Damned.
Oh.
I don't know if he knew them personally, but he knew their names. And Malcador was using his psychic power to suppress knowledge of them because dissent is like not a thing that the Imperium could like handle.
Yeah.
And they got into a conflict at one point where Horus, like standing amongst the rest of the Primarchs, was like, I'm gonna say their names and you can't stop me. Ooh. And then he did stop him, and that's like right at the climax of like Horus being like, oh, I'm part of a tyranny. Like, oh, I am an agent of like a fascist state.
It's like, actually, fuck this place.
Yep.
For a lot of reasons. It's okay. Obviously, early on in the episode, I was definitely like framing the like, oh, we're on the side of we're humans and we're on the side of the Emperor. Like, to be very, very clear. Like, I was doing a funny little bit. But like, I don't believe it. It's just like, oh, he played on his insecurities and the chaos god. It's also probably like, actually, this is a bad place to fucking be, and I don't think I want to be a part of it anymore. And how do I get out of it? And how do I get the power to get out of this thing that's harmful?
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of layers. When I was trying to figure out what the fuck is the Golden Throne, because then I had to deal with that. I was like, okay, reading the Emperor's history, it's like, how did we get to we are from I'm an immortal super being to I'm a skeleton on a throne? How did we get there? And the wiki outlines that big psychic attack which he killed Horus, and then the way it's written says that right before the attack hit, the Chaos Gods relinquished their control over Horus, and the Emperor with his psychic powers could feel how horrified Horus was at what he had done, and the relief of the Emperor to end him now for his betrayal. And I was like, ooh, I don't think that's true.
Yeah, that's propaganda.
Bet that's propaganda. But I couldn't find anywhere of like where, cause sometimes I ask that question. It's like when you're doing things, I'm like, is that true or is that just a thing we think? And I'm like, I think that's just propaganda. Like that's the big story we tell. I'm like, no, Horus never truly wanted to betray the Emperor. It was the Chaos Gods. They just manipulated him. And I'm like, oh, that's such potent propaganda to take away someone's autonomy in the choices they made to oppose you and what you do, and insist it was just outside forces manipulated them. And if it wasn't for these outside forces, they would just have absolutely agreed, and you would have said, oh shit, that's what my mom does. She's literally said that to me. Any criticism I have of her isn't my own. It's just the dark forces.
Oh no.
For fucking Batum. Maybe that's why that passage struck me so hard.
Darion's mom, Primarch.
Whoa, babe, wake up! Darian backstory lore just dropped.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely because one of the things, I don't know enough about the Primarchs to say like a definitive, like this is a theme amongst all of them. But one of the things I've noticed in the themes amongst the like Chaos Primarchs is that like, even though, yes, the Chaos Gods are involved and like the ones who currently serve like individual Chaos Gods are very much in that, they didn't get there from like a blank slate. They all had issues with the Imperium and the Emperor before that. Like I said, we talked about the Angron thing where he got like pulled out of his own like slave revolt by the Emperor because he just didn't want to wait for him, and how that festered into like...
Fine, I'll side with Corn.
Yeah, absolutely. Magnus the Red, like, was a psyker, like very openly, publicly a psyker during a time when the Imperium was just like no psykers, and he like fought for like rights for psykers and like a whole bunch of stuff, and the Emperor
that has real world parallels you can examine.
Kept like shutting him down and stuff, ultimately culminating in like when the heresy broke, Magnus like pushed through the Emperor's own like psychic like protections to warn him that the heresy was happening, and in doing so inadvertently like broke those protections, which allowed like chaos to infiltrate Terra. What to me reads as like an honest mistake, but for which at that moment the Emperor branded him a heretic, like, or not even a heretic, just like a traitor. Like the Emperor sided Magnus with the heresy, and so he did what he joined formally to survive. Right. Like, I think it's very but then like I don't know if that sticks because like Fulgrim touched a cursed sword, I think is his thing, and then he killed Ferris.
Listen, they can't all be winners.
And Conrad Kurz is just crazy. It's fine.
So sometimes you front load a lot of good shit in, and then you realize you said there was 20 of these at minimum, and you just got to is a cursed sword? Have we done that yet? This guy's just crazy. That's fine, right? I'm allowed one.
The twins, the Primarchs of the Alpha Legion, Alfarius and Omegaron.
Sure, man.
One of them is dead, and we don't know which one.
What a fun, quirky twin thing. Just twin things.
One of them's loyal, and one of them's a traitor, and one of them's dead, and we don't know which one. Because
and one tells the truth, and the other one speaks in lies.
Because they just both pretend to be the other one all the time. So, like...
That's fun.
Right?
No, that's a fun bit. No, that's a fun bit. I'm not mad.
I mean, they're just the denouement brothers from Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh my god, they are. That's so stupid.
But yeah,
there's some fun shit in here.
Yeah, like I said,
dang, yeah.
There's so much there's so much that we could critique about 40K. There's so much I could point to that I'm like, this sucks actually, and I kind of hate that it's a whole thing. Oh, okay.
Yes,
cool.
No, you're getting into my finale.
So cool.
I want to. Okay, so as I want to transition back into some real world stuff, and I felt like a good way to do that was to look up what is the most expensive Warhammer 40K mini you can buy.
Oh.
And according to Listman on YouTube, who posted this video 1 year ago, so it's 1 year old, maybe outdated by now. The most expensive Warhammer mini you could get is the Mars Pattern Warlord Titan.
Yep.
But that feels like a caveat because it does have a bunch of different pieces you buy separately.
Yes.
But if you buy all these pieces to build this whole thing, it could run you $2,639.
Yep.
I'm like, that is a very pretty penny.
Also, the last time I checked it, to play it in game, it's 3,500 points when the default like tournament legal Warhammer list is 2,000 points.
So this is just if you want to have a cool guy on your shelf.
Yep.
If you want to brag about this cool thing you painted. And then I was curious, okay, what's the best-selling like set of all time? What's the one that came out that people were like really excited about and immediately like a ton of folks jumped on? And so, according to a article from IGN from January of this year, they reported that when Games Workshop was delivering its financial results, CEO Kevin Roundtree stated that the Space Wolves kit that was released in May of 2025 was the best-selling kit of all time.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But man, yeah, I saw them, and that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Space Marines, but also Vikings and wolves?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. And in that same financial report statement, Roundtree declared that Games Workshop would not be implementing generative AI now or in the near future.
Hell yeah.
Quote from that, "We do not allow AI-generated content or AI to be used in our design process or its unauthorized use outside of Games Workshop, including any of our Yeah, including in any of our competitions.
Hell yeah.
We've also agreed that we will be maintaining a strong commitment to protect our intellectual property and respect our human creatives. In the period reported, we have continued to invest in Warhammer Studio, hiring more creatives in multiple disciplines, from concept and art to writing and sculpting. Talented and passionate individuals make Warhammer the rich, evocative IP that our hobbyists and we all love.
Hell yeah.
And I thought that was a super good and cool thing
Yes.
to hear a very prominent
Yes.
creative thing, a studio in their field,
Mhm.
say outright, full stop, in January of 2026.
Yes.
So, and I have another kind of like important real world thing to understand about this franchise that I also want to include. I'm just going to direct quote from Polygon because I felt they worded it really well. Warhammer 40K was originally conceived as a political satire and as an anti-fascist work of fiction. Nevertheless, over the decades, the hobby has attracted no small number of right-wing fans who buy into either the in-universe propaganda of the Imperium or the marketing material that describe the Space Marines and Friends as noble protectors of humanity. In recent years, Game Workshop has broken out against this fan movement, calling back to the original preamble penned by Priestley. That early thing that's like, hey, this sucks. This is bad. This is not a place you want to be.
No.
If you want to be here, like, that's fine. We're going to play a game. We're going to be in a mindset.
Yeah.
But this is not a good thing
No.
to see in the real world.
Yeah.
And that feels super obvious to me.
Yeah.
Because our human faction is led by a skeleton that is attached to life support, promising to bring humanity back to the good old days, as long as they submit to his unyielding rule and not care that their civilization is propped up by the daily state-sanctioned death of thousands, or that their entire society is both highly militarized and heavily controlled. But in a universe where alien bugs want to eat your face and chaos demons are the living and ever-present reminder of an ancient war, what the hell are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Is 1,000 deaths an acceptable trade in order to navigate the galaxy a little safer? And how many would die if the Astronomicon just vanished?
Right.
When you couldn't do that anymore? And what would the ordinary family do if the Blood Angels weren't there to stop the orcs from rampaging across their planet? And while your guy might be killing everybody who's different, is the alternative really better if they're still going to kill everybody who doesn't want to join their club? Because an empire is still an empire, even if they claim they're acting for the greater good. And this is the part where we could talk about how Warhammer 40K is intentionally designed so there are no good options. There's no one who, at the end of the day, we can point to and call moral. Except maybe that Space Marine faction earlier that at least tries to get civilians out of the way.
No, they still suck.
Damn it. Okay, well then good, because now I don't have to rewrite my last paragraph.
No, they're doing the like we're better than most because we try and help civilians while we enforce Imperial rule.
Bare minimum.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
In Warhammer 40,000, there's no Stormcast who are making a terrible sacrifice to fight for civilization, and there's no Lumineth aiming to atone for the harm their hubris brought to the natural world. There's not even Ideneth that are terrorizing fishing towns because of a curse that wasn't their fault. There's not even a daughter of Cain who will do some pretty awful stuff, but at least she's aiming to prevent chaos from ending everything. 40K lives up to the genre it pioneered. Even though the Harlequins are my exact jam, I can't ignore the unrelenting horror of treating war like a performance.
Yes.
Of losing any sort of weight or reverence for the act of taking life. It's supposed to be grim wherever you look, and like it's doing its job.
Yeah.
And I think diving into this research and like actually seeing it from within makes me get what it's going for way more than I did before. Earlier when I said that like 40K believes that existence is destruction, I'm not saying that the Games Workshop folks believe that, right? I think they are, like, they're not saying that the inevitable reality of existence is that all living things will destroy each other and everything around them. I think that they're actually exploring a world where no matter what choice you make, destruction is the only outcome. A world where order hurts as much as chaos. And they're asking you, the player, to question, like, what do you become in that kind of world?
Yes.
Simultaneously, how do we prevent our world from mirroring the one we're playing in? Because we don't live in a grim, dark world. No matter how grim and dark things can get, it's not by studio designing it that way. We all have choices. And in the real world, we get to push back against the things that Games Workshop is intentionally putting in their game to make it an awful place for you to play in, right? Because in the real world, there doesn't have to be you either let 1,000 people die every day or all the planes fall out of the sky.
Right.
We can actually do the work to improve structures and stop relying on systems that operate at the cost of human dignity and life. We just have to care and be willing to put in the time and the effort. We saved the Peregrine Falcon and California condors, and I genuinely believe that we can save the whole world too. Early on in researching the episode, I had the terrible experience of stumbling upon a Warhammer 40k YouTuber whose video and comment section was the most vile internet experience I've had in a very long time.
Yeah.
Because I've worked very hard to curate my internet experience, and I use the block button very freely.
Yeah.
So I got so angry, and deeply distressed. And I didn't want my name or my show that we'd make to be even remotely connected to these repellent toadies.
Yeah.
And it took me a really long time to rebuild the interest into digging the lore again. And so, obviously, folks who play Warhammer are not inherently fascists.
No.
The same way folks who read Dubcon Romantasy are not going to turn around and not believe victims of real-world sexual violence, right? We are allowed our fantasies without those fantasies being a reflection of our real personal beliefs and values. Like, our preferred genres in the media we consume are just a single facet of our full self, facet of our full self. To paraphrase Walt Whitman, we contain multitudes. But also, to quote Anita Sarkeesian, be critical of the media you love. Because I think it is very irresponsible to consume media absently. And I'm not saying we need to CinemaSins the popcorn blockbusters you go to, or the Super Mario Galaxy movie, right? Like, making a choice not to be overcritical of unserious media is an active choice.
Yeah.
But It's Not That Serious is not a shield for ignoring racism in a fairy smut book, or sexism in a fighting robot movie, or fascist ideology taking root among a player base. And I can't do anything about the public face of Warhammer being men who throw a fit when someone says that humans are clearly the villain in the setting.
Right.
But fans of this game should be very troubled that this is the kind of thing that comes up when people want to look into the game lore. Literally, it was like the second result when I Googled Warhammer 40k lore. So here's my advice. And I don't have a leg to stand on, but here's what I think. Don't let these assholes get comfortable in the space.
Right.
They already are, but why? Like, you call out folks who think the Emperor protects is like a legitimately good thing. The folks who say, this seems like heresy when anything is remotely queer.
Christ.
And they're like, being serious about it. And because you'll know, because when you call them out and they'll get offended and say, but it was just a joke. That is Schrodinger's joke. It's only a joke if I call you out and tell you it's not funny.
We've gotten a couple of those commented on our podcast on just unrelated episodes, like our Stormcast episode, because we mentioned queer characters. And we had people come out of the woodwork to be like, there's a lot of heresy in this one. And
you're like, interesting. Hey, that's not a good thing that met your gut instinct. Thing. Like, if there is someone else in the space who doesn't look like everyone else there, put in the energy to make sure that they are comfortable and having fun, and that no one else is questioning their right to be there as much as yours. Like, if Games Workshop itself can be comfortable calling out this behavior, I really think fans in this space need to be doing it every time they encounter it at the table and at the game shop and in the forums. Because games are meant to be fun. Even games set in a reality where everything sucks.
Yes.
And so everybody who wants to play or spend a ton of money and time buying and painting little guys should be allowed to have fun here.
Yes.
And that's what I think about Warhammer 40k.
Absolutely. You said it. I'm a
please
quote Dan Olson because I think he has a excellent video on like difficult media where he says like most of the media we consume feature situations we would never want to experience in real life.
Yeah.
Like that's just like no one who watches horror movies really wants to be chased by Freddy Krueger. No. Right? And so
I don't want to find a dragon egg in my backyard. The responsibility? Are you kidding me? I don't even want a kid. What am I going to do with a dragon egg?
And so there's no, like I said, I don't want anyone to listen to everything that we've said because you said it beautifully.
Thank you.
I want anyone to listen to anything we said here and be like, you shouldn't like 40K because it's got like fascist ideology. It's like you can't enjoy any media with problematic ideas because that's clearly not
it. That's not it, and that is also a very poor like media take to have.
Yes.
Period.
Yes, there's an instinct that I think is very base. It's very animal to like. If thing bad, everything associated with is bad. If thing like, and the only way to be good is to not be any part bad. And you just have to fight that.
Yeah.
Like I only play AOS, but I've been playing AOS for 6 years at this point. I am down at my local game shop, shoulder to shoulder with people playing 40K, and people who actually put the time in to do the part of this hobby that is being around other people and playing a game together, an inherently like collaborative experience, and being an actual part of this like community are like doing that. They're being part of this community.
Yeah.
They don't have those things that are such a staple of the just like terminally online like chud like I don't know, the gatekeeper mentality, right?
Yes. Like, oh, you have to gatekeep the things you like. Otherwise, it'll get ruined. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, that's crazy. If I love a thing, I want everybody to know about it. I want everybody to hear about it because I want everybody who might like it to have the... There's a reason I mention Discworld all the fucking time on this podcast. One, because it's got great storytelling, and I love to draw connections between media because I think it's an interesting way to expand it. But also, because I know we have a lot of listeners, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that this is a great book series, and I want to share... I'm not going to gatekeep it. That's stupid.
That's crazy.
If you love a thing, everybody should also get to hear thing.
It's the same reason I mentioned Discworld in every time I hung out with Darian until she read it. Because I was like... It is. You're on my brain wave. You'll like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like what are we doing here, gang?
What are we doing?
Like if art and like media and games don't exist to be shared and like enjoyed together, what are we doing?
Yeah. And Warhammer 40,000 gets the luxury of existing across so many mediums. Like even if your friend is like, I don't want to play a war tabletop game, but I do like painting and buying little guys.
Absolutely.
Like having little guys and painting it, or I like video games, or I love reading science fiction books.
I was
like,
gonna say,
there's so many avenues to share this.
Yeah.
It is by design begging people to come and be a part of it.
Yes.
And why would you, one, keep people from doing that, or two, stand by as other people do that? I know it can be hard to, like, push back against folks who are, like, in the space that you maybe came into later or don't want to, like... But it's okay. Listen, it's okay to punch Nazis. And it's okay to tell creeps they're not welcome.
Yeah. And I'm going to share a secret with you. A lot of the people who are the most gatekeepy about this kind of thing are also new. Like, they're trying to colonize it. Like, that's not a universal rule, and that's not in and of itself a reason to, like, be wary.
The original ending of this episode had a lot more rage in it because I wrote it after I encountered that video and that comment section and was... One, I mean, I know people can be terrible on the internet. This is not a surprise to me. I'm a lady. I understand, right? The thing that actually made me the most angry was that there was no comments pushing back against what was being said. Now, granted, this guy probably has deleted anybody that doesn't agree with him, but there was also no responses to the other comments of people being like, what are you talking about? Like, that's... And that's the thing that made me really mad, is that surely there are so many people that like this podcast. Y'all... That's wild. And you, if you're listening, you're cool. So, like, I want to believe in my heart of hearts that you cool people that are painting really neat minis and using an excellent color palette and listening to this show would be someone that would hear that shit and at least be like, that doesn't make any sense. Right. What are you talking? I'm not saying you have to pick a fight with everybody because escalating the situation doesn't help, but sometimes the best, like, just the steadfast of, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, just letting someone realize that what they're saying is foolish goes a long way. And so the thing I got really mad about was like, why isn't there anybody here trying to like care about this bullshit? Like, you should care about this thing that's so popular. And then I finally got into researching the episode, and I did all the thing, and I saw it from the inside, and I felt a lot more sympathetic to Warhammer. Not to these fools. Don't get it twisted. Not to these fools. But a lot more, I don't know. I got why people like this in a way that I didn't before.
Yeah.
Like, I see the thing that makes, okay, maybe it was the Harlequins. Maybe the Harlequins really fucking fooled me. I don't know. But I learned about it and really saw, hey, people like this. And I rewrote the ending to not be quite so mean. Because I don't want to be mean to the people who like this and also like our show. Because you're cool.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to just have a pep talk to be like, hey, it's okay to tell creeps they're not welcome here.
Yes. We do it in AOS too. Like,
we do all the time.
Not as many. Yeah. It just feels like the world is so full of things that suck that it's hard to do things about.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you just want to, like, I don't want to engage with that. I just want to play my game.
Yeah. As I say, this doesn't have to be one of them.
No, right? It can be, we get to curate the spaces we exist in.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And honestly, after all this, I'm like, hey, I think Warhammer 40K is pretty cool. Yeah. It's, again, not my genre, but I just have a really deep respect for all of the things I encountered that were clearly an intentional attempt to do something and explore this space and this kind of world and get people to question, like, yeah, we're here now and this is the world I'm in. But, like, I don't know. It also could be like a thing that's trying to like train people to recognize that and know that that's, hey, anyone telling you I'll get you back to the good old days, just give me your freedoms, is probably someone that shouldn't be given power. And I want there to be an official kit for the Harlequin.
That's our call to action.
That's our call to action. Okay.
I know you're listening, James.
James, where I know you've been doing this for 40 years and you haven't done it yet, but maybe this time, maybe for 12th edition, they left a calling card on the Emperor and we didn't get a kit? Crazy.
Devastating.
All right, that's been our episode. Thank you all so much for joining us. I have, as always, been your Harlequin Troop Master, Darian Smart.
And I'm Dalton Montgomery, and we're not a 40K podcast.
We are not a 40K podcast. Leave any corrections or expansions in the comments. Don't DM us. Bye, everybody.
Take care.